So today we are going to play with the idea of dynamic opposition a little bit. So in pretty much every yoga pose that I can think of right now, there's some amount of dynamic opposition happening. You're stretching and strengthening at the same time. You might be lengthening in one direction, pressing away in another. And there's also a quality of strength and softness happening. So just playing around with that today and just noticing that in your own body. My name is Brendon, for those of you who don't know me, and this is an inversion flow class. The poses that we're working toward today are not easy poses, so give yourself some grace. If you don't get it today, no worries. We'll work on a lot of building blocks for the strength and the flexibility to get you there eventually. That may not be today, maybe not tomorrow, but if you keep working on it, it'll happen. So let's get started on our mats in a standing position. Feet hip-width apart from each other. Spread your toes wide, and then position your heels directly behind the widest part of your feet. Inhale, shrug your shoulders up towards your ears. Exhale to roll them down and back. Close your eyes for just a moment and bring some awareness into your body and into your breath. You could put one hand on your belly, one hand on your chest, just to more physically feel the breath. But just notice where it is in your body the most right now. It might be up in the collarbones and neck. Sometimes when we're a little anxious or stressed, you'll feel the breath more there. Or maybe it's just in the chest and the ribs. That's more of a focused, productive kind of a breath, usually. Or if you're feeling it more in the belly, that's more of a calming, soothing, kind of getting ready for bed sort of a breath. So just notice where it is for you. And on your next inhale, deep inhale in, send the breath down into your belly, feel the belly rise, and then the ribs expand. And then the collarbones lift just a little. Full deep breath in, and then exhale the opposite. Collarbones lower, chest deflates, and then belly pulls in. Take a few more breaths just like that, nice and deep and slow. You might go ahead and add your Ujjayi breathing here if that's within your practice. Bringing a gentle constriction to the back of your throat, like you would if you wanted to fog up a window. With that constriction, breathe in and out through your nose, so you sound like an ocean wave or like Darth Vader. That just gives you kind of an anchor point during your class. So if you notice that you're not hearing your breath anymore, it just tells you to come back to the present and refocus on the breath. You can flutter the eyes open. On your next inhale, arms reach out and rise up. Make sure the shoulders stay relaxed down, but then lengthen the spine up even more. Exhale, bend your knees just a little, fold forward, keeping that length in your spine. Lift up halfway, crown of the head reaches forward. Hands can press against your shins or your thighs, creating that dynamic opposition. So hands press back, crown of head lengthens forward. Exhale to fold. Reach your arms out, rise up, inhale, lengthen up. Again, exhale, forward fold, slight bend in the knees. Halfway lift, inhale, long spine. Exhale, fold forward. Bend the knees as much as you need to in these forward folds. Inhale, reach your arms out and up, mountain pose. Exhale, hands come to heart center now. And then bring your hands to your waist and just notice what's happening with your hips here. A lot of times we kind of jut one hip out or tilt the pelvis forward or back. So see if you can neutralize all of that. And then you could put one hand on your low back, one on your low belly, and lengthen the tailbone down with the hand behind you. Zip the low belly in and up with the hand in front. So you should feel your core turn on when you do that. And then again, come back to your stable mountain legs. Kneecaps draw up, thighs engaged. Shift the weight into your left foot. And just kind of lift this right hip straight up. So feel your core even more here. Try to keep the shoulders softening down. And then set your right foot down. Weight shifts to the right. Lift the left hip up, hovering the left foot. And then set it down. Exhale, chair pose, hips sink down and back. Try to keep the stableness of your pelvis though. So again, low back is lengthening, tailbone down, low belly drawing in and up. Hands can come to heart center. Weight shifts back toward your heels, toes spread wide. Maybe they lift for a little extra challenge. Sink just a little lower. Inhale, reach up, mountain. Chair pose on your exhale, sinking down and back, finding that neutral pelvis again. Tailbone lengthening down and back. And now shift the weight into your left foot and hover the right. Keep zipping the belly in. Strong standing leg. Shoulders are soft. Set your right foot down, switch sides. Left foot hovers. Make sure the breath is still flowing. And lower your foot, forward fold. Halfway lift, inhale, lengthening forward. Shift the weight towards your toes now so that you feel your hamstrings turn on. Shoulders are drawing back towards your hips. The crown of head is reaching forward. Exhale, fold. Chair pose, inhale, lift your chest up, sink the hips down and back. Again, drawing the belly in and up, tailbone lengthening towards your heels. Shift the weight to the left foot, lift your right. And then cross right ankle over the left, right knee pressing down towards your mat. Sink your hips a little bit more for 3, 2, 1. Release that, fold forward. Halfway lift, inhale. Exhale, let it go. Chair pose, inhale, sinking the hips down, weight toward the heels. Shift the weight into your right foot, left foot hovers. Then cross left ankle over right, pressing that knee toward the mat. Sink the hips down for 3, 2, 1. Let it go, forward fold. Halfway lift, weight toward the toes, feeling those hamstrings. Shoulders lengthening back away from the ears. Exhale, fold. Reach out, rise up, inhale. Now keep your hip bones both facing forward. On your exhale, twist towards your right, arms open up in that direction. Inhale, lengthen the spine up, still in your twist. Exhale, chest turns more to the right, hip bones are still facing forward. Inhale, unwind to center. Exhale, left side. Hips facing forward. Maybe taking hands to those hips just to make sure. Inhale to get taller. Exhale, twist a little deeper. Back to center. Inhale, reach up. Exhale, fold forward. Halfway lift, inhale. Exhale, hands to the mat. Just bend your knees, lower hips to the ground gently. Roll onto your back. Knees into chest and gently rock side to side. Now release your legs, bring knees directly over the hips. Shins parallel to the floor. Both feet are flexed. Start to cinch in at the waist, using the muscles to corset everything in so you can connect to those deepest abdominal muscles, the TVA. And just here, you should be able to feel them. Keep thinking about drawing navel down towards your mat. And take another 2 breaths here. Zip the inner thighs together. Low belly in and up. Now keep that core engagement just like you have it, but extend the legs straight up. On your next exhale, right leg only lowers down slowly toward the mat, hovering your heel just an inch or 2 at the bottom. Inhale to lift it back up. Left side, exhale, slowly lower, navel drawing down toward the floor. Inhale, bring it back up. Back to the right, exhale, slowly lower. Inhale, lift. Left side, slow lower. Inhale, bring it back up. Both legs at the same time now. Exhale, slowly lower. Draw the belly in and up even more for this. Hover the feet. Inhale, lift them back up. Back to one leg at a time. Exhale the right. Inhale, lift. Exhale, lower left. Inhale, lift. Both legs, exhale, slowly coming down. Inhale, back up. Again, both legs at the same time. Exhale, slow. Inhale, back up. Happy baby. Take your knees wide, feet up toward the ceiling. Make sure your spine is nice and long, tailbone pressing into the mat. And once that's happening, then figure out where your hands go. So with that spinal length, maybe you need to grab behind your thighs, or maybe you can grab your ankles or your feet. You're welcome to add some movement here if that feels good to you. And again, talking about that dynamic opposition, we want to lengthen the spine and press the tailbone down just as much as we want to pull the knees down toward the armpits. So kind of in different directions of activation. Now bring the legs back together, straight up toward the ceiling. Cinch the belly in. And now cross right ankle over your left thigh, making sure your foot is overhanging the leg so your ankle truly is on the thigh. Press right knee away from you. Now slowly lower left leg down, hovering off the floor. Keep pressing the right knee down so the hip stays open. Inhale, lift. Twice more like that. Exhale, lower. Inhale, lift. Last one, lower for 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Lift it up. And then grab behind your left thigh, pull it towards you for supine pigeon. Again, trying to maintain that length in the spine. If it serves you better, you could bend this left knee just to keep pulling the legs in for another 2 breaths. Now keep your legs in this shape, but release your hands and tip your legs over to the left. So right foot steps down on the floor, right knee faces upward. You can turn your gaze toward the right if that feels okay in your neck. Now press your shoulders down to bring your knees to center, still in this figure four shape. Now left foot comes out to the left edge of the mat. Exhale, lower your knees toward the right. So for some of you, you might be already feeling a lot. Others of you, you might not feel anything. So if you're not feeling anything, really jet this left hip up toward the ceiling by tucking the tailbone. And then maybe lengthen the left arm toward the back of your mat. Uncross your legs, bring your knees to center. And we'll switch sides, so legs straight up toward the ceiling. Cinch the belly in, find your TVA engagement. Then cross the left ankle over your right thigh. Left knee is moving away from you. Exhale, slowly lower right leg toward the mat. Inhale, lift it back up. 2 more, exhale, lower nice and slow. Inhale to lift. Last one, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Lift it back up. Hands behind your right thigh, pull your legs towards you. Maybe bend the right knee if that's more comfortable. Keep flexing the left foot especially. Keep your legs in this shape, but release your hands. Tip your legs to the right. Left foot steps down now. Gaze towards your left. Letting the belly be soft now. Last breath here. Press your shoulders down, bring your legs to center. Right foot comes out to the right edge of the mat. Exhale, lower knees to the left. Stay here, or maybe you want to think about jutting the right hip up toward the ceiling by tucking your tailbone, and then reaching right arm back toward the back of your mat. Uncross your legs, knees come back to center. Take the feet wide as the mat and just sway your knees side to side a few times, shaking that out. Now pull knees into chest, palms behind the thighs. Round your spine and rock forward and backward a couple of times. Just massaging the length of your spine. Eventually find some balance on your sit bones in boat pose. Feet could be on the floor for your boat. You will still feel core engagement there. Wherever you are, make sure that your spine is long, your chest is lifted, belly is zipping in and up. We're here for 3 more breaths. Hug the inner thighs together. Maybe you float the arms, straighten the legs. Any variation that works for you today. Last breath here. Let it go. Cross your shins, plant your hands, rolling over the knees to come to all fours, tabletop position. Spread your fingertips, or spread your fingers wide, pressing down through each fingertip and through the knuckles. And then externally rotate the arms so biceps are spinning forward and triceps back. Inhale, cow pose, lift your chest. Let the belly lower. Exhale, cat round and press the floor away. Tuck your chin. Really press up through your lower back. Inhale, cow pose, lift your chest, arch your back. Keep the core slightly engaged to help support your back here. Exhale, round, press the floor away, tuck your chin, belly towards spine. Twice more, just like that, moving with your breath. Back to neutral once you finish that round. And again, externally rotated arms, triceps facing back. We'll work on connecting with the lats now. So keep zipping the belly in and up so those deep core muscles are working. And then just bend the elbows just a little. Shoulders press away from ears. Elbows are going backward. And then press that back up. You might feel a lot in the triceps there, but what we're also looking for is feeling the lat muscle, which is underneath the armpit, kind of wrapping around to your back. So again, exhale, bend the elbows just a little. And straighten. Again, bend. And straighten. Belly towards spine, inner thighs hugging in, bend. Straighten. Last one, bend the elbows. And straighten. One cat-cow, inhale, arch your spine, lift the chest. Exhale, cat, round, press the floor away through the fingertips and the knuckles. And then sink hips to heels, child's pose. Letting your forehead rest on the mat. Make sure your traps are relaxed. So whenever your arms are reaching straight forward, you notice your shoulders creeping up. Just bend the elbows a little so the traps can relax. And know that you can come to this pose at any point during class if you need a little break. And then just rejoin us whenever you're ready. Take one more breath here. On your next inhale, lift yourself up, tabletop pose. Externally rotate the arms, shoulders away from the ears. Shift your weight forward so shoulders come past the wrists now. Lift the shins off the mat. Exhale, chaturanga all the way down. Baby cobra, inhale, lift your chest forward and up. So your upper body's reaching forward, lower body is lengthening back. Thighs and shoelace sides of feet press into the mat. Tailbone lengthens toward the heels. Elbows draw together. And lower. We'll do that twice more, just building some lower back strength and warmth. Inhale, lift yourself forward and up. Again, elbows together. Collarbones reach forward. Try to keep your neck in line with the rest of your spine, so your gaze should be looking down at your mat. And lower. Inhale, lift up. Last time. Keep pressing thighs and tops of feet into the mat. And then hover your hands, making sure that your low back is doing the work. You're not just using your hands to press yourself up. One more breath. Exhale, lower. Pull your belly in, so you're lifting the belly off the mat before you press up to tabletop. Curl the toes under, send your hips up and back, downward facing dog. Shake it out here, bend the knees, one at a time. Maybe shift your heels side to side. However it feels good for you, go ahead and take a moment to settle in. Come to stillness now. Again, think about that external rotation of the arms. Traps are relaxed, so there should be lots of space between your shoulders and your ears. Soften your knees, look forward, and step to the top of your mat. Halfway lift, inhale, lengthening forward. Exhale, fold. Inhale, root down through your feet, reach out and up. Inhale. Exhale, hands to heart. Inhale, reach up. Exhale, forward fold. Halfway lift, long spine. Exhale, plant your hands, step or hop to plank pose. Can be on the knees or the toes. Make sure weight is in the fingertips and the knuckles. Arms externally rotated. Exhale, slowly lower. Chaturanga all the way down. Baby cobra, inhale, peel the chest forward. Exhale, lower. Option for a little challenge here to press straight up into plank. To do that, curl the toes under. Lift your belly button off the mat to engage your core. Press up, hips back, down dog. Soften shoulders away from ears. Press more weight into your knuckles and fingertips. Then lift your right leg straight up toward the ceiling, three-legged dog. Hips are square to the mat for this one, so you feel a stretch in the back of your left leg. On your exhale, right knee comes to right tricep. Inhale, send it back up. Exhale, left tricep. Inhale, back up. Knee toward nose, exhale. That step between your hands coming to a lunge. Lower your back knee to the mat. I like to walk my right foot out to the right a little bit, so I'm less on a tightrope and more on train tracks. Press the hips forward. Feel a stretch in your left hip flexor. Exhale, half split, straighten your front leg as much as you can. Just flowing through those two a couple of times. Inhale, bend your right knee, press the hips forward. Exhale, straighten your right leg, press the hips back. Inhale, lunge. Exhale, half split. Inhale, back to your lunge. Lift your left knee off the mat. Gonna turn around so you guys can see what's happening next. Moving into a horizon lunge from here. So left hand plants on the mat. All 10 toes turn towards your right, heels to the left. Right arm reaches toward the back of your mat. It's a big hip stretch here. If it's a little too much for you, right foot can step back toward the left foot on the mat. Stay here or add a little movement and strength to this. When you inhale, press your hips up, reach right arm overhead. Exhale, lower your hips, arm reaches back. Again, press up, breathe in. Exhale, lower the hips, reach back. One more. Exhale, reach back. Now, right arm straight up toward the ceiling. Really press the floor away with the left hand. Right foot steps back to meet the left side plank. 3 breaths. Feet can stack. They can stagger. Lower knee can come to the mat. Plank pose. On the knees or the toes, your choice. Make sure you shift forward before you chaturanga down. Inhale, chest forward and up. Exhale, hips up and back. Soften shoulders away from ears. Press into the knuckles and fingertips. Lift your left leg up. Try to square your hips toward the mat, feeling a stretch in the back of your right leg. Exhale, left knee to left tricep. Inhale up. Exhale, right tricep. Inhale, back up. Knee toward nose, exhale. Then step between your hands, back knee comes to the mat. And then maybe you walk your left foot out to the side a little bit, not quite to a lizard pose, but somewhere between. Press the hips forward, get that nice juicy stretch in the front of your right hip. Exhale, half split, straighten the left leg as much as you can. Inhale, bend your left knee, press forward. Exhale, hips back, left leg straight. Inhale, lunge. Exhale, half split. Back to your lunge, inhale. You know what's coming. We're moving to that horizon lunge again. So right hand plants, back knee lifts. You can start by twisting your chest toward the left. Turn all 10 toes to the left, heels to the right. Left arm reaches back. Really press the floor away through your right fingertips. You can stay here. Maybe step the left foot back to make it a little gentler. Or if you want more of a challenge, inhale, lift your hips, reach overhead. Exhale, lower, reach back. Twice more. Inhale, press up. Exhale, lower. Breathe in, lift. Breathe out, lower. Inhale, left arm up. Side plank, step left foot back. Any side plank variation, 3 breaths. Exhale to plank pose. Inhale, shift forward, shoulders in front of the wrists. Exhale, lower chaturanga. Inhale, chest forward and up. Exhale, down dog, hips up and back. Soften your knees, look forward, and step or hop to the top of the mat. Halfway lift, inhale. Exhale, fold. And heel toe your feet wider. I like them to be almost as wide as the mat, then sink your hips down. Ideally, the heels are on the floor for this yogi squat or malasana pose. Hands to heart center. Tailbone lengthens down towards your mat, but the rest of your spine is lifting up. Now, opposing forces again, so elbows press out, but inner thighs resist and hug in. You're welcome to stay here. Just work on this hip opening and inner thigh strength. Or move into our first arm balance today, which is crow pose. So, hands come forward, shoulder width distance apart from each other on the mat. Fingers spread nice and wide to create a good, stable base for yourself. Lift your hips up, bend the elbows straight back. So remember that external rotation I was talking about earlier. That's what we want, so elbows come back. Then knees come as high up on the triceps as you can get them, close to the armpits if you can. Gaze forward, a foot or so in front of the hands. On an exhale, zip the belly in and up, shift your weight toward the fingertips. Maybe just lift one foot, then release, shift back. Exhale, shift forward, lift the other foot. Shift back. When you're ready, maybe both feet float. Have the intention of rounding your back, just like you do in cat pose. You won't really get that rounded, but that's the amount of core engagement I want you to think about. So try that one more time, or keep holding if you're in crow right now. Then everybody gently let it go. Lift your hips up. Heel toe your feet back together. And just shake the knees out. Maybe drop your head, shake it side to side. Yes, no. Inhale, lengthen the chest forward, halfway lift. Exhale, fold. Reach out, rise up, inhale. Hands to heart, exhale. Inhale, sweep your arms out and up. Shoulders relax down, chair pose, exhale, sinking down and back. If your shoulders are tired or you just find they're hiking up towards your ears, lower your hands down to your heart center. Zip the belly in, lengthen tailbone towards your mat. Hug the inner thighs together. Shift the weight into your left foot. Hover the right foot up. Then cross right ankle over your left thigh, sink your hips down and back even more. Still finding that length in the spine, tailbone lengthening down. Nice and slow, keeping your balance. Start to straighten the standing leg, lift your right knee so it's waist height. Warrior 3 on your exhale. Right foot is flexed. Think about stomping back toward the wall behind you as you hinge forward, lengthen your leg back. Any arm variation works. Gaze toward the floor, standing leg is strong and engaged. Lifted leg as well is strong and engaged. Will help you to do that if you'll flex the right foot. Now softly as you can, right foot hits the mat, reach your arms up, inhale. Cactus arms, exhale, lift your chest, elbows pull toward the waist. Inhale, reach up. Exhale, hands to the mat. Left leg reaches up, three-legged dog. Bend your knee, open your hips. Try to keep shoulders in line with each other. Then you can stay here or take some circles with your left knee. If you're circling, take a few in the other direction. Exhale, left knee to left tricep. Inhale, back up and open. Exhale to the right. Inhale, back up. Exhale, knee toward nose. Step between your hands. Right foot turns out to a 90 for warrior 2 now. Cartwheel your arms up. So think about squeezing your legs toward each other. Pressing left knee out towards your left little toe. Softening the shoulders down. Inhale, flip your front palm, reach it up and back. Reverse your warrior. Think about length through both sides of your waist as you reach up toward the back top corner of whatever room you're in. Side angle on your exhale. Left elbow can come to left knee, or fingertips can reach all the way down. Just make sure that you're not completely resting your weight in that elbow if your elbow is on the thigh. Keep pressing weight into the outer edge of your back foot, trying to equalize the weight in both legs. Maybe right arm reaches overhead, right bicep by your ear, shoulder pressing back toward the right hip, but fingertips reaching forward toward the top of the mat. On your exhale, right hand comes to the mat, right heel lifts up. Twist your chest toward the left. We're coming back into that horizon lunge we did a moment ago. So toes to the left, heels to the right, left arm reaches back. This time though, we're just going to take a seat. You may need to scoot the left foot back on the mat in order to do that. And from here, we'll work on baby grasshopper. So it's helpful to keep your left heel in toward the right leg. Right hand comes out kind of wide for this one and forward. So my hand is just in front of where the toes are, but really out wide to the right. Find length in the spine on an inhale. Reach your left arm in front of the left shin on your exhale. Flex your right foot really hard. See if you can grab the outer edge of your right foot. So maybe you can't quite reach that. Maybe you just stay here, trying to find a long spine and a forward fold. If you can reach the foot, maybe you flatten your right hand down to the mat. I like to bring it in just a little bit from where we were. Elbow pointing straight back, shoulders away from ears. Shift the weight into your left foot. Exhale, lift your hips up. Use the opposition of your right foot, trying to stomp away, left arm holding it in. So that will help you create the lift that you need in your pelvic floor and your low belly. Again, exhale, shift the weight forward into the left foot, lift, and let it go. You can play around with that for another moment or two, or just take a couple of deep breaths if you're finished with that one. And now everyone take a seat. Plant your right hand in line with your right hip, but forward. So we're coming into a side plank. Right fingers spread wide, pinky toe edge of the right foot on the mat. Exhale, lift the hips up. Keep the left foot where it is for now. And then you can stay here or step the left foot behind you and turn this into a wild thing pose by lifting the hips up. You want to think about squeezing the glutes, but also hugging the inner thighs together and lengthening the tailbone towards your heels. One more breath here. On your exhale, slowly flip it back over, plank pose. Take a vinyasa, or press up to downward facing dog and take 3 breaths. Soften your knees, look forward, and step or hop to the top of the mat. Halfway lift, inhale. Forward fold, exhale. Breathe in, rise up. Breathe out, hands to heart, hips sink down, chair pose. Now opposite side this time. Shift the weight into your right foot. Hover the left leg. And then cross the left ankle over your right thigh, sink your hips down and back. Keep zipping the low belly in. Finding length in the low back. Take another breath here, finding some balance and stability. Focusing the mind. On your next inhale, start straightening your right leg, left knee in line with your waist. Again, thinking about stomping your left foot back, slowly move into warrior 3. Strong standing leg, strong lifted leg, flexing the left foot. Gaze toward the floor so the neck is in line with everything else. Any arm variation, maybe the same one you took on the first side. Then as softly as you can, set your left foot down at the back of the mat, arms reach up, crescent lunge. Exhale, cactus arms, lift the chest, pull the shoulder blades together. Inhale, reach up. Exhale, hands to the mat. 3-legged dog, inhale, right leg high. Bend your knee, open your hips. Make sure right and left shoulder are in line with each other. Then maybe circle the knee a few times. If you're circling, switch directions. On your next exhale, right knee to right tricep. Inhale, back up. Exhale, take it left. Inhale, back up. Exhale, knee toward nose. Then step between your hands. Right heel spins down, warrior 2 legs. Cartwheel your arms up. So again, squeezing the legs toward each other for stability, turning on the inner thighs. Right knee presses out toward the right pinky toe. Inhale, flip your front palm, reverse your warrior. Think about lengthening through both sides of the waist. Softening the right shoulder down. Still squeezing the feet toward each other. Side angle on your exhale, right elbow to thigh, as long as all the weight's not resting on the elbow, or fingertips reaching for the mat. Try to even out the weight between your 2 feet so that it's not all just dumping into the front. Maybe reach your left arm overhead, bicep by your ear. On your next exhale, left hand comes to the mat, left heel lifts up. All 10 toes turn toward the right, right arm lifts up. We're back in that horizon lunge. You guys know what's coming next, so maybe you need to step the right foot back toward the back of your mat before you take a seat. And then hug the right foot in towards your left leg. Left hand comes out wide and forward. Inhale to find length in the spine. Flex your left foot. On an exhale, keep that long spine, but fold forward and reach toward your left foot. If you can grab it, do that. If not, just focus on the fold and keeping the spine straight. If you have a hold of the left outer edge of your foot, flatten your left palm to the mat. Exhale to shift the weight forward into your right foot. Pull the belly in and lift up. Shoulders press away from ear. Left elbows trying to point back. Keep lengthening the left foot away and use your right arm to pull it back in. That dynamic opposition really helps to give you that lift that we're looking for in baby grasshopper. So take another moment or two to play around with that. You may find that one side is a lot easier than the other. That's pretty common. Then gently take a seat if you're not already there. Take your left hand forward in line with your left hip, moving toward our side plank. Left pinky toe toward the mat. Lift the hips up, right arm up. You can stay here, stack the feet, or step right foot behind you. Press your hips up, find your wild thing pose. Think about lengthening your tailbone and your sternum away from each other in opposite directions. Really pressing down through the ball of your right foot. On your next exhale, slowly flip yourself over, plank pose. Take a vinyasa or a downward facing dog for 3 breaths. Soften your knees, look forward, and step or hop to the top of the mat. Halfway lift, inhale. Exhale, fold forward, still bending your knees as much as you need to in these forward folds. Now interlace your hands at your low back. Pull the shoulder blades together, send them towards your tailbone. Maybe keep the fist here if you're already feeling tightness in your shoulders. Or if you're ready for more, lift your fist up and let it fall overhead, but keep the shoulders pressing away from your ears. Release your bind, bring palms to shins, and inhale to lift up halfway. Forward fold, exhale. Chair pose on your inhale, sinking the hips down and back. Weight shifts back toward the heels. Belly is strong, cinching in. And now we'll work on flying pigeon next. So we've already done a lot of the pieces of this pose, so you're welcome to stop anywhere along the way. But if you're ready to continue, shift the weight into your left foot. Right foot just hovers to start. Make sure you've got that core strength, really feeling it pull in. Cross right ankle over your left thigh. sinking down even more. Maybe you can sink down so much that your elbows touch your right shin. The trick is to stay balanced for all of this. Keep zipping the belly in and up. Shoulders press away from the ears. Then maybe hands can reach to the floor. If you have a block or a coffee table or anything handy, that is a good, midway point if you're not quite ready to touch the floor yet. Maybe you can start to straighten your standing leg. So if all of that feels good, maybe you'll work with me on flying pigeon pose. So for that, hands come forward, still shoulder width distance apart, fingers spread out. Now shift forward, bend the elbows back. You're creating a shelf for your right shin with the arms. So shift forward, bend the standing knee enough so that your right shin finds the triceps. Now really flex your right foot. Pretend that it's a hand wrapping around your left tricep. So that creates a lot of strength and stability to help you eventually lift up. Exhale, shift your weight toward the fingertips. Maybe tuck left heel in toward your glutes. You can stay here. This is already pretty difficult. Or maybe start lengthening the left leg back. And again, stopping at any point that you need to. If you're feeling any pain, obviously, please come out. So I'll give you another moment or two to play around with that. This pose does require a lot of hip openness and a lot of TVA strength. So if you're still just working on the hip openness, maybe you're just here with one foot on the floor, crossing ankle over thigh, and working on this. So let's take 2 more breaths in your balance pose or in your stretch. And then let's all meet in a forward fold, again taking that bind. Try interlacing the opposite fingers on top this time. The shoulder blades draw together and down towards your tailbone. Maybe the fist drops overhead. One more breath here. Release your bind. Bring palms to shins. Inhale, lengthen forward. Exhale, fold, let it go. Breathe in, chair pose, hips down, spine tall. Switching sides now. So cinching the core in, shift the weight into your right foot. Cross the left ankle over your right thigh and sink down. Maybe your elbows come to meet your left shin. And you try to balance there, building core strength, building all the stabilizing muscles in your standing leg. Then maybe hands come toward the mat. Working on straightening the standing leg. When you're ready to go for the arm balance, hands walk forward. It's usually farther away from your standing foot than people think. So start bending the standing leg, bending the elbows. Trying to create that shelf for your left shin. On an exhale, shift forward, left shin finds the triceps, left foot flexes so the toes are wrapping around the right arm. Exhale again, keep shifting forward and hover the right foot, lifting your heel up towards your glute. stay here, or with control, start to lengthen your right leg back. So we're trying to come in and out of these poses with a lot of strength and stability. So trying not to fling ourselves into a pose or just kind of flop out of it. We really just want to be mindful the whole way through. Trying to be respectful of our bodies and all the hard work they're doing for us. So again, if you'd rather just take this stretch, right foot on the mat, left ankle crosses over the right thigh, finding this hip stretch. Last 2 breaths. And then let's all make our way to a tabletop position. Hug the inner thighs toward each other just to activate the core lightly. And then keep your hips over your knees as you walk your hands forward toward puppy pose. And let your forehead rest on the mat. So for this pose, we're not looking for a ton of a back bend in the low back. It's more about finding an arch in the upper back. So that's why we want the light core engagement. If you're ready for a little more, maybe you sink the chest deeper and the chin finds the mat. On your next exhale, press into the hands to lift yourself up and then lower down to your belly, just so you can make your way onto your back. Closing out our practice. Pull your knees into your chest, gently rocking side to side. And then take a happy baby, taking the knees wide, feet up. Maybe grabbing behind thighs, ankles, or the feet. And just notice if this happy baby feels different than it did at the beginning of class. Maybe it does, maybe it doesn't, but just notice. And send your feet straight up toward the ceiling. And draw some figure eights with the feet. Getting a nice massage on your low back. When you're ready, legs lower down to the mat, finding your Shavasana. Final resting pose. Letting the legs turn out, the palms turn up, and the eyes close down.